My name is Maury Kalnitz. I'm the director of the Executive Doctorate program here at Georgia State University. Arthur Clarke said that learning is not a sometimes thing, learning is an all times thing, because half the things we knew when we were 20 years ago are no longer valid today, and half the things we know today weren't even discovered 20 years ago. So things are changing on such an increasingly dynamic basis that you really need to continue studying, understanding what's changing and where you're going. And we focus our program really in three areas built around that concept. Okay? One is leadership, the other one is globalization, and the third are issues and problems within the company.
So we will focus on the first semester here. And just to read this, you see we got the courses here. These are the 6 semesters. You got the courses here, and you got the research labs here. And remember, this is a 54-hour program divided by 3, which is an 18-course program. 3 courses each semester, okay? I think the most important thing I'll emphasize is that this is not like your master's degree. So this is research rather than a traditional curriculum that you go through. In a traditional curriculum, the professor has defined what you need to learn, and there are certain books that you need to read, and there are certain exercises you need to go through. And if you do that well, you will do your tests well, and you'll be graded well, and you'll get your exam. Now, that's not how you do research. In research, basically, you work with problems, so who knows what the solution is? It's like an open space. So if you come and ask the professor, what should I read? The professor could say, well, why don't you find out? And this is a huge change, you know, from a traditional way of learning. You need to confront yourself with the uncertainty of what is out there, you know, and you need to look into it and find out yourself in many ways what is important to know for you to solve a particular problem. That's completely different from normal teaching. So therefore, in the first semester for these 3 classes, you read a lot of stuff. And maybe, Bob, I could ask you to step over to you so we can hear what you're saying. So maybe you can talk a little bit about how the experience was the very first semester, because you've been through it.
You know, one of the things we do read about in the popular press these days is that we used to all start a career at 22, and we'd have that career till whenever, and that would be it. And now we're getting 2 things. One is a lot of people who have multiple careers that are completely different or quite a bit different. And the other is, so I think we got a lot of people who are, you know, sort of a slash between I'm a banker slash photographer slash whatever. And I take some of that to heart. I hopefully have a few years left in me of productive work, and it doesn't need to all be doing exactly what I've been doing for the last 10 years or so in finance. I think this is a way to help explore the world and see what else is out there, and what components of even my field I've been ignoring or haven't learned much about lately. 20 years ago, that was the best you could do was a focus group of a few people, or do that a few times. Now you can have something that's much different than a focus group and can have thousands or hundreds of thousands of people. And that's, we think, is changing the way companies innovate their products. And we want to learn more about that. And as part of the process and as part of this project, we are really charged by Lars and through the program to go out and actually talk to companies that are doing it. We'll look at the academic research in excruciating detail as well, but the real charge is to go out and find out what are people doing, maybe how they can do it differently, what's working, what's not. So we're very excited about that.
The admissions process. Well, the people who believe that they're qualified, first of all, they're invited to an open house where we spend an hour and a half describing the program and answering questions they may have. And then we invite them to apply. The application process is simply The application itself, we ask for a very detailed resume because we're very, very, very interested in what they've done and what they're doing. That, to us, is key. We ask the answers to, written answers to 3 essay questions. Basically, why do you want to do this? What do you think, what do you expect from Georgia State in this program? And the third question is, how are you going to rearrange your priorities in life to commit to 25 to 30 hours a week? And so we look at what they've written, both in content and in style, because if this is a writing intensive program, and so you've got to have the facility to write. And their transcripts. It requires a master's degree. We say MBA or equivalent, so we look at that. So we look at their transcripts, and that's about it.
Something that's very, I guess, a down-to-earth consideration is we talk about and almost scare people sometimes, I think, with the commitment, and it is a substantial time commitment, which they absolutely need to consider, and there's a reason why in the application Maury and Lars will ask them what they call their strategies for success, which is basically, how are you going to do this? I will say, though, that the professors have all done 2 things. One is they understand that we're working, and so that there are limitations as to what they can ask us. The other thing, and I've tried to emphasize to them, because it's my personal crusade, is to tell them we can do a lot of work in any given 3-week period in any month. We have to be able to say that, or we shouldn't be in the program. Just don't ask me to do a whole lot on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week, because I may be hosting my company's annual conference and have to be there. So there is room for you to make your way around your other commitments, but this is not something that you start every Sunday morning and finish by the evening on Sunday and forget about it for a week.
What's the value in it? The value in it is that you are learning a methodology that you can then apply in your work environment. And whether you're doing research or understanding the research that's done by other people, you need to be able to be familiar with the methodology, you need to be familiar with the terms. And this is what it gives you. It gives you the ability to pick up research papers that have been written by academics and understand what they're saying, understand how to apply it to your specific problems, and if necessary, be able to do or to direct research within your own establishment.
Our goal is, as we develop this program, that our students will continue as alumni of this program to publish once in a while papers in practitioner academic journals or even in academic journals. And they will continue as their career moves on to participate in conferences where practitioners and academics meet and where they can publish and present stuff that they do. One of
my teammates, or my group mates, said over the weekend, and every once in a while the cost of the program comes up. And he just said, he made the claim, he said, I'm investing this in myself. He said, I had money I could obviously invest it in a lot of other things. There was no better place for me to invest it than here. And this is somebody who's fairly accomplished, is an entrepreneur, successful, but he looked at this as an investment in himself.